The summer of 2024 in Willow Creek, a quiet suburb nestled in the rolling hills of North Carolina, was supposed to be peaceful. My name's Jack Harper, and I live in a modest two-story house with my wife, Emily, and our 17-year-old daughter, Lily. Our home smells of sawdust and engine oil, thanks to the garage where I tinker with my pride and joy. A 1997 Dodge Ram 1500 I call Old Blue. She's no beauty queen. Her navy paint is chipped from years of gravel roads, and the driver's seat is molded to my frame from countless hours behind the wheel. I rebuilt her engine with my own hands, each bolt a testament to late nights and stubborn grit. Emily, a former Navy cryptologist turned cybersecurity consultant, wired an aftermarket remote start last fall so we could warm Old Blue from the porch. Lily, sharp as a tack and already eyeing MIT, helped me hide a GPS tracker under the chassis. Old Blue isn't just a truck. She's family, a rolling piece of our history. But to Margaret Voss, the newly minted president of our homeowners association, Old Blue was a blight on her vision of suburban perfection. Worse, she decided my truck would make the perfect 17th birthday gift for her son, Ethan. She told me so last June, leaning over our shared cedar fence with a smile sharp enough to cut glass. "Jack, that truck's got character," she said, her voice syrupy. "Ethan would love it. Name your price." I laughed it off, polite but firm. "She's not for sale, Margaret. Too much history." Her smile didn't crack, but her eyes went cold. That afternoon, she called the cops, claiming I'd threatened her while I was hosing down Old Blue. A deputy took her statement, gave me a case number, and told us to keep the peace. That number burned in my mind, right next to her name. A week later, on a humid evening with the sky streaked pink and gold, I stood in my driveway with two sheriff's deputies, watching one steal my truck without touching a key. Deputy Harris, a burly guy with a drawl that demanded attention, held up a black box the size of a walkie-talkie. "Relay attack, Jack," he said. "Thieves use these to grab your keys signal from inside your house." His partner, Deputy Klein, younger and twitchy, stood by Old Blue with a second device. Harris explained, "One thief circles your house with the amplifier, picking up the faint ping from your key fob. Mine sat in a clay dish Emily made in a pottery class. The signal gets boosted to the second box by the vehicle, fooling it into thinking the key's right there." Klein pressed a button, and Old Blue's locks popped open with a soft click. He slid inside, hit the remote start, and her engine roared to life. 10 seconds, no noise, and my truck was theirs. My stomach twisted, a cold dread like the moment before a storm breaks. Lily watched from the porch, her arms crossed, eyes scanning like she was memorizing every detail. "They don't need the key at all?" she asked, voice steady. Harris shook his head. "Once it's running, it's gone until the tank's dry or they chop it." Emily stepped out, wiping her hands on a towel. "So, block the signal," she said, not a question. "Faraday pouch for the keys?" Harris nodded. "Or tin foil, but that's a pain." Our neighbor Pete, a jovial guy in a baseball cap, strolled up with a roll of foil. "If I wrap my whole SUV, do I get better gas mileage or just weird looks?" Harris didn't flinch. "Just looks." As they spoke, Margaret's white Escalade crawled by, her phone held high, filming us like a vulture circling. Klein muttered, "She's subtle as a freight train." Emily's jaw tightened. "We need that pouch tonight." That night, our house became a fortress. Emily turned the kitchen into a command center, her laptop showing feeds from our Ring camera and Old Blue's dash cam, set to record on motion or sound. She tucked a GPS tracker into the truck's frame, far from the OBD2 port where thieves might look. Lily, meanwhile, wired a kill switch into Old Blue's fuel pump relay, hidden inside a fake cassette in the tape deck, a relic no one would touch. I took first watch, binoculars in hand, peering at Margaret's McMansion across the street, its glowing windows hiding her schemes. She'd told me Ethan deserved Old Blue, her voice dripping with entitlement, as if my truck was hers to claim. I knew she wouldn't hire pros. She was too cocky. Ethan would be her thief, and his birthday was 10 days away. The clock was ticking. At 1:47 a.m., under a sliver of moon, Emily's voice crackled through my walkie-talkie. "Jack, movement." 2 figures, hoodies, north side, near the Wilsons. I raised the binoculars, heart pounding. 2 shapes moved in the shadows, one tall, one stocky. They split up, the tall one circling our fence, the stocky one heading for Old Blue. "That's Ethan," I whispered, recognizing his lanky frame. He clutched a relay box, fumbling nervously. The truck's lock clicked. He slipped inside, and Old Blue's engine growled to life. My blood boiled, but I waited. The truck rolled silently down the driveway. No headlights, a ghost under the streetlights. "Now, Lily," I said into the second walkie-talkie. A faint click, and Old Blue coughed and died, coasting to a stop in the road, perfectly framed by our cameras. Ethan stumbled out, panic etched on his face. I was on him in seconds, pinning him on Pete's lawn beside a tacky garden gnome. "Where's your buddy?" I demanded. "He ran," Ethan stammered. "Mom said to run if it went bad." His backpack lay open, a relay box and glowing phone inside. The screen showed a text from Mom. "Is it done? Did you get it, Ethan?" Pete, in a bathrobe and flip-flops, sprayed the fleeing lookout with a hose, muttering about water restrictions. The kid dropped his amplifier and vanished into the shrubs. Deputies Harris and Klein arrived quietly, no sirens, as planned. I'd texted Harris one word: "Go." They detained Ethan, not cuffed, but secured. Emily handed over the dash cam footage, Ethan's face clear as Dan Lilly presented the kill switch remote. I gave Harris the backpack, phone still glowing with Margaret's texts. "Wait till 1:30. Everyone's asleep. Get it to the corner. I'll meet you." Harris read them aloud for his body cam, his face grim. "This is conspiracy, Jack." She used her own kid. Emily's voice was ice. She coached him every step. Harris nodded. "You set up a perfect case. Most victims don't hand us the crime scene on a platter." Margaret didn't stop. 2 days later, a tow truck rolled up, driver claiming Old Blue was abandoned per HOA orders. I showed him the clean title, fresh tags, and mentioned the felony investigation. His face fell. "The lady sounded official," he muttered, eyeing Margaret's signature on the work order. She stood nearby, in a bright blazer, yelling about community standards. The driver tore up the order and left, refusing to be her pawn. I called Harris, who looped in investigator Torres from the state attorney's office. Torres had a plan: bait Margaret into admitting her scheme. That afternoon, with a recorder on our landline, I called her, voice shaky. "Margaret, this is out of control. The cops, the tow truck me family's scared. I'll sell you the truck for $500. Just make it stop." She bit, her tone smug. "A clerical error, Jack. But $500 works. Let's be neighbors again." Torres, listening in, gave me a thumbs up. We had her. The HOA meeting was a powder keg. Margaret, perched at the front of a drab community center in Willow Creek, droned about pet waste bins and flower budgets, then targeted me. "Some residents ignore our covenants, like a certain junk truck." I stood, projector ready. "Since it's my truck, let me clarify." I played the ring footage. Ethan sneaking up, unlocking Old Blue. Gasps filled the room. Then the dash cam, showing his panicked face and the text from Mom. Margaret exploded, screaming about slander, but slipped. I took official HOA action to tow that junk. The room froze. Torres, in the back, nodded. Deputies Harris, Klein, and 2 plainclothes detectives walked in, warrant in hand. "Margaret Voss, you're under arrest," Harris said, listing charges: conspiracy, attempted theft, using a minor, false report. She crumpled, her authority gone, as they cuffed her quietly. Margaret took a plea: fines, probation, restitution, banned from the HOA. Ethan got diversion counseling and service. The HOA board collapsed. Pete, of all people, became president, auditing Margaret's shady fines. Refund checks hit mailboxes, and the block party that summer was electric grills sizzling, kids laughing. Lily got her license and took Old Blue for her first solo drive. I kept the kill switch, added a Faraday pouch, and Emily sweeps for trackers monthly. We're not paranoid, just prepared. Sitting on my porch, Old Blue gleaming under the stars, Emily beside me. I hear Lily's wrench clank in the garage. The street feels alive again, not with conflict, but with life. We fought for this quiet, not with fists but with evidence, patience, and the law. Margaret thought she could bully us. She learned we don't break. What would you do if a neighbor tried to steal your prized possession? Should HOA presidents have unchecked power, or are they just bullies with clipboards? Would you risk a sting to catch a schemer, or let it slide for peace? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories where justice hits hard.